this story interested me. I thought this was interesting. A Utah high school football teammate turned down a summer job that was actually a covert coup attempt, I believe in like the Congo, in the African Congo. Mm-hmm. The friend of a prominent Congolese opposition leader. And let me just say before we go into this story, I know that a lot of people, with the AI images of like all eyes on Rafah and pray for Sudan, which I've criticized because they're silly and they look like it's a new show on NBC. Tuesdays at 8, all about Rafah. Like it feels, even CNN quoted me because it does feel silly. Not to say you shouldn't be upset about those things. We're losing focus with the Sudan and the Congo stuff, I feel. I really do. I can get upset about this Palestine, but you start throwing in Sudan and the Congo, it doesn't work. I start going, oh yeah, everything's and then I just turn it all off. You gotta focus. I can't handle everything. You can't be like Sudan, Congo, like they are now listing everything going on the planet. I can't be enraged about that. Stick with something. The friend of a prominent Congolese opposition leader's son said he turned down a 6-figure offer to travel there from the U.S. as part of a family security detail in what turned out to be a failed coup. Marcel Malanga, the 21-year-old son of an eccentric coup leader, Christian Malanga, was detained by Congolese forces Sunday morning, along with a former classmate from their hometown of West Jordan, Utah, after his father was killed in a shootout while resisting arrest. His high school football teammate, Tyler Thompson, 21, was one of the 2 other Americans arrested after an ill-fated attack on the presidential palace in Kinshasa. 6 people were dead and dozens arrested, including 3 Americans following the attack and another on the residence of a close ally of President Felix Tshisekedi. The Congolese army spokesperson, Brigadier General Sylvain Ekenge, said. Daniel Gonzalez, a former teammate of the 2 Utah residents caught up in the foiled coup, told the Associated Press that Marcel had offered him $50,000 to $100,000 to spend 4 months in the Congo as a security guard for his politician father. The 22-year-old FedEx worker said he strongly considered it, but said it lacked concrete details. He ultimately declined so he could spend the summer with his girlfriend. I feel really sad for Tyler and Marcel, but at the end of the day, I just can't be grateful. I just can be grateful that I didn't go because I'd be stuck in the same scary situation. That is great, by the way, to have your son have a summer job, and that summer job is overthrowing a government in Africa. A friend of mine's father, who I've talked about on the show before, Bud Munster, said that if you're just a white guy with some money, you can kind of go, and I don't know if that's the case with this guy. I don't know if he's white or not. But you can go to like these places like Africa or South America, and you could really like around a little bit and have fun. Like try to overthrow a government. Like this is kind of cool for like a summer trip that you went there. Now it didn't work. Certain things don't work. But the idea that like this guy's trying to overthrow an African government with his kid, and he said to his kid's friends, why don't you get a couple of your loser friends and you could come over and try to overthrow this government too. It is crazy to think about that that's his summer. I don't know what exactly you learn from this. That's maybe the issue is you don't really learn. You learn about trusting people. Like if you go over there, first of all, I never wanted to work as a person. That's why I do this. I always, poor people were always the ones that worked. You always see the poor working. They're always fiddling and fidgeting. They're late all the time. I was one of them for years. They work so hard and no one cares. And so I never wanted to work. It never interested me. That's why I do this. And rich people are kind of never really working. They're always doing something. They're always like kind of like taking a phone call, going to a lunch. But so I would have turned this down immediately. They're like, you're going to be a security guard. I mean, I wouldn't do that anywhere. And certainly not in the Congo. Like if my best friend was like, you know, my dad loves you. He wants you to be a security guard in the Congo. I'd be like, it's the summer. It's the summer. Like we're not going to, I'm not going over to the African Congo with your dad. Your dad's a nut. But apparently some of these kids did, and now are they still in jail?
Yeah, at least one of them is this, so the son, and then this other kid, Tyler Higbee. His parents talked to the news the other day. It was
Let's see what's going on with these. And by the way, how do you let your kid go? My son went to the Congo.
It was supposed to be a family trip to Africa, but it turned deadly over the weekend. Rebecca Higbee says her son, Tyler Thompson, was invited to travel through several countries in Africa with his longtime friend, Marcel Malonga.
My son, Tyler, has been friends with Marcel for years. They've been playing football together. And every summer, Marcel would go see his dad, just like any divorced couple. He would go spend summers with his dad in Africa.
Marcel is the son of Christian Malonga, the man killed in a shootout after an alleged attack on the Congolese presidential palace. Higbee says Malonga was shot in front of her son and Marcel. Since then, they've been trying to get any information about Thompson. They've been searching online, and the images they've seen have them frightened.
We just see images, and every time we see an image, my son seems more...
You know, these two were so excited that their kid was going to Africa. You know, they were so excited, these lesbians, when he's like, I'm going to Africa. They told everyone in the community. They told everybody in the community. They were walking up and down the streets going, our son's in Africa. He's in the Congo right now. Our son's in the Congo. They brought it up at every party. They brought it up at every bakery. They come in, oh yeah, we need a cake. And well, our son, it won't be for our son, actually, he's in the Congo. He's in the Congo. And they thought it was great. But, you know, if you overthrow a government, you got to win. That's part of it. If you try for a coup, you got to win. Like when the CIA killed President Kennedy and installed Johnson, they succeeded. Had they not succeeded, it wouldn't have been good. But they succeeded. They planned and they executed. This guy's got a bunch of, what are they, college kids? High school, college?
Yeah, 21,
high school.
22, yeah.
Or college, okay. He's got a bunch of college kids trying to take over. And that makes me think, can you do that? Can you take over like a little small African nation with a bunch of college kids? Because that's going to be the next thing. Everyone's going to be like, we all got priced out of New York and L.A. We just take over a small African nation. I mean, that is really the way to be rich. The way to be rich is to go to Africa. That is the way to be rich. It's like the old school way to be rich, really. And I know that some people are going to find this insensitive culturally, but it is. To go to Africa is everyone's like, you go to the Hamptons and Palm Beach and Malibu. Yeah. Still laws. They're still going to tell you what to do. They're still going to tell you what to do. They're still going to tell you what to do. But if you go to Africa and you set yourself up right, there is nothing you cannot do and nothing you cannot have. Truly. If you set yourself up right in Africa, you're a warlord. You're the government. I don't know. I don't think I have enough money to be an African warlord. But I think when you think about it, because that's what this guy wanted to do. This guy was like, I've been living here, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm going to get my son and a few of his friends, and we're going to overthrow this goddamn government. Did they even get close? Play the rest of this. Did they get close? Probably not.
Like, wrist looks broken, nose looks broken.
Miranda Thompson is Tyler's stepmother. She says Tyler was scrapbooking his trips to Africa, showing off their visit to Johannesburg and the restaurants they visited in Swaziland. The last communication he sent to his mother was that he loved her. But since Sunday,
By the way, I bet the guy who got shot was so charismatic. I have been led to do crazy things by the charismatic parents of my friends. I was in 2 boating accidents with Bud Munster, who I thought was great. I used to drink so much with my friends' parents. They could get you to do anything. Really, I remember I was driving home once from a bar, and I sideswiped this parked car. I was like, what the f***? And Bud, Munster, and Claire, my friends' parents were in the back. They go, keep going, keep going. I was just driving fast, cigarette in my mouth. I finally got to their house. I ran out of the car and ran into the back room. But these are the types of things that if you're a charismatic parent, you can really convince me. I wonder if these kids didn't know what was going on until they got there. They're getting drunk. They're getting Congo drunk, which is a different thing. They're really f***ed up, and he goes, listen, we're gonna overthrow this government. We're gonna be kings. We're gonna be kings. And I bet there was a minute and they're all alive, right, these kids?
Yes, all the kids are alive.
This is a great lesson. And here's the thing. They were all probably relieved when the guy got shot because he was probably coming on real strong. He was probably very intense. The last few hours of that guy's life were very intense. And I've had this experience where, like, the fun dad gets dark. And when the fun dad gets dark, it's all over. And you know that. Like, when someone's fun dad who you've been getting up with all weekend turns around and starts to say some really wild like, oh, I don't know about that. Really? Oh. Mr. Johnson, are you serious about all that stuff? You know, they start to go, there's a switch that flips. Because the fun dad can get really dark really quick. And I think this was the switch that flipped where he started looking at his son and his friends and going, we're going to overthrow this government. And I bet everybody's like, it started as a joke. Like, okay, we're gonna go up to the Congolese palace and what? And this guy was deadly serious. And he got shot in front of everybody. And they were relieved when he got shot. They were like, thank God, because that was rough. And that now they get put in jail, and I don't know what happens to them. Utah parents terrified.
We don't know where he is. We don't know what he's doing, what he's going through. We're just terrified.
For now, they can only wait for any news from the State Department.
I mean, we get to trust that it's their job, right? And that it's what they do, and their job is to look after American citizens. And
what an interesting take, by the way. By the way, what an interesting take. It's like, this is the problem with institutionalists. She's like, well, we just have to trust that it's their job, and their job is to look after Americans. Your son tried to overthrow the government of the Congo. The State Department's job's kind of to, like, ignore that. What are they going to do? Your son was involved in a coup attempt. They don't give a... Well, it's their job. It's the State Department's job. I'm sure they deal with this all the time. I'm sure they deal with people from Utah accidentally doing a coup all the time. And we just have to be... You know, we just have to have faith and try... Dude, the State Department is busy. With all this going on with Israel right now, can you imagine knocking on... Hi, are we doing anything about the Utah teenager who's stuck in the Congo? Hey, get the out of my office. Okay, how about you get the out of my office, okay? I'm on the up to my head in Rafah. I got incursions. I got headless babe. Everybody's bleeding. You think I give a at a retard from Utah trying to overthrow the government of the Congo? I hope they kill him. And I hope they use that thing where they smear honey all over you and let fire ants eat you, or bees or something. I read about that. I don't know if that's what they actually do or if it's sort of a racist thing that I was reading, but the point is it's a cool punishment nonetheless. But nobody at the State Department, this is not priority one. Russia, Ukraine, China, Israel, Palestine, and then these fucking legos. Sorry, ladies.